Hello and good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Muller here for MeteoMark's Weather. Thanks for joining me. We're going over severe weather that's going to stretch from Sunday evening all the way through Monday and potentially throughout the rest of the week. We're going to go into the details and see who will see the biggest severe weather outbreaks this week. And how about those temperatures across the east? Could we be looking at a surge of what could feel like more like summer rather than late spring across the east, as we see a temperature surge around the western periphery of a Bermuda high that could be bringing temperatures more closer to early summer than early spring? And just what on earth is going on across the tropics, especially the Caribbean islands, as we get one tropical wave after another over the next couple weeks, dropping a tremendous amount of rain? Could we be looking at one of these systems actually becoming a tropical storm or a tropical depression or even a subtropical storm? We'll look at all the details in what looks to be a very stormy period here across the Caribbean islands. And don't forget, if you haven't watched my 2024 Hurricane Outlook, I have a link in the description down below and at the end of this video. So if you haven't caught that, I go over all the particulars for this hurricane season. Let's get into it. So for the rest of your Sunday, I am deeply concerned here about eastern Texas, parts of northwestern Louisiana, southwestern Arkansas for an enhanced risk, a great threat here in this region of tornadoes. And as we continue throughout the week, things calm down just slightly on Monday. You can see we have a marginal risk here from the northwestern Gulf Coast areas, San Antonio, Houston, stretching over to New Orleans here. So this area under the gun for some problems. Then as we get our next system here for Tuesday, you can see we have a marginal to slight risk here into parts of the north, central, and eastern plains region here, especially from Kansas City all the way up to Sioux City and just west of Des Moines here. So definitely Topeka area, Lincoln, watch out. And as we head into Wednesday, look at this region right here. We're starting to get into the same areas that were affected Saturday. This is not good news. Just west of Oklahoma City, as we can get all the way from western Oklahoma right through central Kansas here, a tornado risk is likely. So for our HRRR future radar here, you can see what's going on right around the mid to late afternoon hours into the early evening across eastern Texas. This is where we're going to start to ramp up the severe weather. And as you can see, this is going to blossom through 8 p.m. Our future radar showing this is blossoming all the way down towards Houston, Texarkana, Tyler, Linden. These areas are going to see a lot of severe weather. Tornado threat is running high, even up into parts of Arkansas here, and then it becomes more of a damaging wind threat up here towards just west of St. Louis and east of Kansas City. So we may have some, stronger showers and thunderstorms up here. I'll cover this in the northeast momentarily here, but as you can see, as we go throughout midnight, 2 a.m. on Sunday night, early Monday morning, look what's happening. This is progressing into far eastern Texas, Houston area, and then we start to get into western Louisiana and Little Rock here. And this is just going to continue northward here towards St. Louis. It becomes more of a heavy rain threat at this point, but this is going to continue plow eastward here to just be right around sunrise across Louisiana. You can see that squall line moving towards New Orleans here as we head towards noon hour. Yeah, lunchtime here could be pretty rough across New Orleans as this stretches towards the east and then towards southern Alabama and Mississippi here as we get towards the Panhandle before weakening. And this heads out over the Gulf. We're going to see a resurgence of showers and thunderstorms as we head throughout the day here across parts of the southern Gulf Coast region. So you can see back towards Houston, Texas, just south of Houston towards 8 a.m. on Tuesday morning. And then these showers and thunderstorms heading towards the Tennessee and Appalachians here, eastern Tennessee. Now let's take a look here. Winding up across the northern plains here and Midwest, we're going to see some heavier rains as we head towards, this is 12 a.m. on Sunday night. So you can see as we continue through the rest of the day here, we'll probably see some showers, heavier embedded thunderstorms here across parts of the eastern Great Lakes. And this is just going to continue. We'll see some of those areas of heavier showers and thunder showers. None of these are expected to really be severe. You might have some gusty winds, some small hail, but for the most part, as we head towards 2 a.m. on early Monday morning, here it is across much of the northeast and eastern lakes. This complex weakening to the west here as we head towards 10 a.m. on Monday morning, but look at, for the most part, we're eking out a really nice day until we get towards 7 p.m. here. We're starting to see showers and thunderstorms filling in here from Indiana northward to Ohio, and we may have some instability here along this warm front across right around the Binghamton, Scranton areas, and then down towards West Virginia and Maryland areas as well. and northern New Jersey. So we might have some scattered, stronger thunderstorms here as we kick off. And then look at this, towards midnight on Monday night, we really start to fill in some shower and thunderstorm activity. So some of these could, contain gusty winds, small hail, maybe an isolated severe, but for the most part, these should be pretty heavy rain, some frequent lightning. So look at that, moving through the Cleveland area Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. Our last frame here showing this moving into an area of high pressure, so it will be weakening. So looking at our significant tornado parameter here, eastern Texas, southwestern or southeastern Oklahoma, into parts of southwestern Arkansas and northwestern Louisiana. As we head throughout the rest of the day on Sunday, late Sunday afternoon and evening, this is where the tornado threat is going to be running highest, right in this region here. So watch out. It could get really rough across this region. This is where we have the biggest change of wind with heights and the best dynamics here. This is going to be explosive as we head towards 10 p.m. eastern Texas, and that moves into northwestern Louisiana, southwestern Arkansas as we head throughout the overnight areas. So this is not going to be good because this is going to be more of a nocturnal threat. And then it turns more into a squall line. Still a chance of some tornadoes here south of Lafayette and west of New Orleans by 8 a.m. But by this point, it's going to be mainly a damaging straight line wind event. And then as we head throughout the rest of your Tuesday here, that threat kind of moves towards the east here, but it's kind of, at this point, it's waning. All right, so looking at our CAPE here, our convective available potential energy, as we head throughout the rest of Sunday afternoon and evening, you can see across eastern Texas, this is basically the instability, the food for thunderstorms, so to speak. Look at this from San Antonio to Waco, Dallas. This is where we could be seeing on the order of 4,000 joules per kilogram, 3,500 to 4,000. That is some intense. And look at that, as we head throughout the overnight hours, this area actually spreads to the east. So as we head towards, say, Monday and Monday evening, we still have a lot of instability, but most of the trigger to get these storms going moves to the southeast. You can see up into the Ohio Valley northeast, these green areas will be about 1,000 joules per kilogram. So that's right on the area of the warm front where we could see some isolated strong thunderstorms into parts of northeast Pennsylvania, into southern New York State there. So as we head throughout the rest of your Tuesday here, you can see towards 8 a.m. on Tuesday morning, definitely some instability here to work with, and then up here into the Ohio Valley, parts of the Northeast. So taking a look at our GFS model here, you can see lots of showers and thunderstorm action will be existing across the southern plains, eastern Texas as we head later Sunday night into Monday. Those storms move up towards parts of Missouri. And as you can see, as we go in time, we're going to get the general sense that this severe weather is going to sink to the south here across Mississippi here 5 p.m. on Monday. So a little bit lesser up here towards the Great Lakes. I'm not really expecting anything severe, maybe a few strong storms with some gusty winds, 45 mile per hour wind gusts, some small hail, but nothing too bad. And as we head throughout the rest of the week, we do have a low pressure system here May 1st as we stretch towards, say, Wednesday here. You can see some showers here across southern parts of New England, and here across parts of the Ohio Valley, we do have some shower activity as well. Now, the next system here is going to be moving from Colorado. You can see we have an explosion of showers and thunderstorms here across parts of the midsection. Let's just back that up just a little bit here. Here it is, May 2nd into May 3rd. We might have some pretty big storms here developing, so this is something we're going to have to keep a very close eye on here. And as we just get the general sense of what's going to be trending the next several weeks here, at least the next couple weeks, you can see lots of high pressure building in here towards May 7th. So as we get towards, say, there it is, the first full week of May, you can see what's going on here. We got a very active pattern here across the plains and into the parts of the lakes northeast. We're going to spark some continued showers and thunderstorms here across parts of the plains, Mississippi Valley, stretching towards the Ohio River Valley. And then look at this, just one right after another. It's just going to be one severe weather outbreak right after another, high pressure building in across the east. Thankfully, it seems like these low pressure systems are kind of going to be squelched here to the south rather than right up the east coast. So that is some good news. Maybe some showers here, though, clipping parts of New England with some of those inverted troughs. But look at this, severe weather outbreaks across the Mississippi Valley. and then showers and storms continuing to the Great Lakes. It does seem like the trend, though, is for these coastal lows to hit parts of southern New England. So everybody's not going to be off the hook with these kind of systems as we head through mid-May. So for our Sunday here, the rest of your Sunday, high pressure continuing across the eastern seaboard here. You can see our severe weather outbreak across parts of eastern Texas. That's going to continue northeastward throughout the night into Monday morning. You can see those stronger storms pivoting more towards the Gulf Coast regions here. Let's just back that up. You can see towards Houston, 11 a.m. on Monday morning. This high pressure retreating here to the northeast here off the U.S. East Coast. That's going to allow this storm system to push east, but it is going to weaken, thankfully, as it runs into this area of high pressure. And then our next storm pivoting across the northern plains, it doesn't look like it's going to be that strong of a storm. And then as we continue in time, we get some more severe weather here towards May 2nd here as we get towards the middle of the week. You can see that low pressure heading up across parts of the eastern plains, and that means more severe weather here from parts of Texas all the way up towards Iowa and Chicago area. Now, as we get the last few frames here, you can see, the trend is for stormier here into the plains and more tranquil, it seems, here across the east. So let's take a look at our precipitation totals here. Starting off with the European model, you can see across eastern Texas, parts of the Mississippi River Valley up into the Ohio River Valley. That's where we'll see the heaviest rain. Also north of that warm front into parts of the Midwest as well as the Northeast there. And then later on in the week, we just pile more rain as we continue to stretch towards May 8th. So this is going to be the lion's share of the rainfall, even into parts of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast as well. These areas could see a solid 2 to 4 inches, and then those yellow and oranges areas, 4 to 6 inches with locally higher amounts. Watch out for flooding in some of these areas. Look at the Pacific Northwest as well, getting very active. And let's compare that with the GFS model. You can see as we head through Wednesday, there's the lower plains and Mississippi River Valley, those 2 to 4 inch amounts, locally higher to 4 to 6 inch plus. And then as we head through next weekend into the following week, you can see the pattern here is favoring a tremendous amount of precipitation here from the Midwest down to the southern plains, Mississippi River Valley, and then another bullseye here into the Northeast and another one here into southwestern Canada into parts of the Pacific Northwest. Look it up here into Canada as well. Manitoba over to Ontario, southern Ontario and Quebec as well. We could be looking at 2 to 4 inches in these red zones with locally higher to 4 to 6 in these areas across northeast Texas to parts of Arkansas and then Wisconsin. You could be seeing 6 to as much as 8 inches in some of these areas. Now, snowfall here across parts of the lower 48, not looking like much except for the northern plains here, as that's going to mainly fall later Monday into Tuesday, and then another area a little bit later on here. But look at this as we head throughout much of the country. It's mainly the Rocky Mountains and Cascades, some of the Sierra Nevadas, but it's mainly bottled up here into British Columbia, parts of the central plains of Canada, and way up here into parts of Ontario and Quebec. So let's take a look at the upper air pattern, that ridge continuing across the far east. There's our cutoff coastal low up towards Newfoundland. And the west coast, especially the Pacific Northwest and southwestern Canada, getting pummeled with storminess. We just continue to build this ridge, though, across eastern North America. Look at this. This is pretty interesting. This is going to promote some very above average temperatures here as we go through the forecast period. And that is no end in sight until about May 8th here. We do start to get evidence that the pattern may start to break down here as we get 2 major troughs, one on the west coast and one on the east coast as well. This could be a pretty significant storm maker here. Let's pick up with our climate model. We'll continue through the rest of May here. There's that storminess as we head towards the middle part of May here across parts of the east. That starts to kick out a little bit until we get another one here towards Memorial Day weekend. So could we be looking at actually above average the first half of May and then below average the second half of May across the east? It's quite possible. And John sending in a photo here. This is from a beautiful day train ride near Hotel Plaza, Tom Chattelbass Station here. Look at this, looking really beautiful across here. You can see those beautiful blue skies. Get out there and enjoy. Nice captures there, John. So for the tropics here, things are going to really be getting active. If you haven't watched my Hurricane 2024 Outlook, It is in a link in the description down below, as well as the end of this video. So you might want to head over to that. It's going to be a very important hurricane season. Now, as we continue in time, as we head throughout the rest of Sunday night into Monday, you can see we have a hefty amount of showers here across parts of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, the Northern Lesser Antilles, even Jamaica getting in on the act, and the Cayman Islands, and some showers here across the eastern Yucatan, Belize, heading down to Honduras. That's going to continue as we head throughout the week here. You see these easterly winds. It looks like right around this area, this Bermuda high, Dominican Republic over to Haiti, we could see some very strong showers and thunder showers here, and that's going to pick up some very heavy rains. You can see how stationary this system is just north of Puerto Rico, continuing to focus these rains here on the south side of this Bermuda high. And look at this. This Bermuda high is positioned kind of more like the middle of summer rather than it would be, say, the mid part of spring. So this is kind of strange here as we continue to enhance these showers and thunder shower activity here. This is looking more indicative of a mid-July rather than heading into the last part of April, beginning of May. And you can see these showers move towards the Lesser Antilles again, towards the Puerto Rico area, towards May 4th and 5th. You can see we have a tropical wave, it seems, here moving through the Lesser Antilles, and that's going to be the focal point of more showers and thunder showers, and then towards Hispaniola as well. So things are going to get very active pretty quickly here. And look at this as we head towards Puerto Rico, the Northern Lesser Antilles, the Virgin Islands, towards May 7th here. More showers and thunder showers likely with another tropical wave. So it is going to remain active here towards May 11th. Look at this, more showers and thunderstorms continuing across parts of the Virgin Islands here, Puerto Rico. It is active. Here into Central America, it does seem pretty active as well. Let's go out here into the Cape Verde. See, this is definitely not the season for it. You can see a lot of low clouds, some showery weather, but high pressures control up here towards the Azores. As we continue in time, the Gulf of Mexico is clear as a bell here. But the big trend is going to be stormier here, especially across parts of the northern and northeastern Caribbean islands. All right, so for your precipitation here is going to be pretty hefty here across the western and central part of the Caribbean. You can see as we head through the week here, Jamaica all the way through Hispaniola, some areas could be picking up to 80 to 120 millimeters of rainfall here. And as we stretch this all the way through May 14th, look at the amount of rainfall here, especially from Jamaica to Hispaniola, Puerto Rico. We could be looking at 100 to 150, close to 200 millimeters of rainfall. And let's go to the Eastern Caribbean, Eastern Bahamas. You can see, yeah, as we head through Friday of this week, all the way through this week, look at the amount of rain into the following week. This is where we're going to focus a tremendous amount of rainfall. These orangish, yellowish areas, 100 to as much as 200 millimeters. This is going to promote some extreme flooding here and mudslide potential here across the island of Hispaniola. Puerto Rico, you're going to continue to pick up heavy rains into the Virgin Islands, the Northern Lesser Antilles as well. Even the southeastern Bahamas getting in on the act near the Turks and Caicos, and all of the Lesser Antilles, you know, you're pushing towards 60 to 100 millimeters of rainfall, a rainy tropical time of it. All right, so for our Canadian weather outlook, yeah, we're still talking about snow here into British Columbia, especially the higher elevations and even into northern parts of Quebec here. So definitely going to keep an eye on all of this as we continue in time. High pressure building in across parts of Manitoba and Ontario. That's centering towards northern Quebec as we head towards Monday here. You can see actually some mixed precipitation and even snow here into southern Ontario, parts of Manitoba here, and snow continuing as cold pool of air out here into parts of British Columbia. Even northern New Brunswick here heading on into these areas of northeastern Canada here. That high pressure retreating to the north. You can see a burst of heavier snow here across north central parts of Ontario. Also, this low pressure gets cranking across the western plains of Canada here, so we're going to get some heavy snow into parts of the Rocky Mountains here, the Canadian Rockies. You can also see just off the coast here of Newfoundland, we have this big low pressure, and that's going to promote some snow showers and some mixed precipitation here across parts of southeast Canada. And as we continue to go in time, you can see the trend here is colder here across parts of the Central Plains. You can see as we head towards, say, May 1st here, we're still dealing with wet snow, even into parts of northeastern Canada here as well. But then we start to see a surge of warmer air here into parts of Ontario, southern Manitoba, and even into British Columbia, rain showers with only some mountain snow by this point. So we're going to start to warm things up across much of Canada here, and we might actually start to get some severe weather chances here into southern Ontario and Quebec as we head towards May 4th here. So definitely something to watch out as we go out in time. You can see, look at this. The western areas of Canada are going to be under the gun for heavy snow. So especially heavy mountain snow here. The plains really warming up here by May 7th. And look at this. The eastern provinces of Canada, for the most part, quieting down here, except for Newfoundland here. Look at this. Another coastal low may bring you some wet snow and some coastal rain there. And then another low pressure system ejecting from the United States, promoting some heavy snow here across parts of Manitoba. So it seems like the plains here and western provinces really getting hit with a lot of snowfall here as we head throughout the first part of May. Now here it is right into mid-May. This is May 14th. Mixed precipitation up by Hudson Bay here. Continuing with mountain snow out here in British Columbia, but look at eastern Canada. For the most part, it's looking really nice, although there is a coastal low out here. So we're going to continue to line up these coastal lows for Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. And here's the snowfall forecast for Canada, British Columbia, eastward there into the Rocky Mountains. It's looking like the bullseye for a tremendous amount of mountain snow here. Central parts of Canada as well, north central parts, the plain states, here into parts of western Ontario as well, mainly picking up about 20 centimeters in some of these areas. And then as we stretch and continue in time here, it's mainly bottled way up here into parts of eastern Canada, northern Ontario, Quebec, and then look at British Columbia over here and eastward towards the rest of the Rocky Mountains. That's where the lion's share of the snowfall is going to fall through mid-May. And taking a look at liquid equivalent precipitation here into Canada, you can see as we head through next weekend, May 5th, you can see most of it falling across Ontario, Western Canada, and Northeast Canada here, upwards of 60 to as much as 90 millimeters here. And as we continue in time, you can see what's going on here. Much of eastern, there's kind of a hole here into Quebec. Not too much, even down to Nova Scotia, kind of dry for you. But Newfoundland here, northeastward here, pretty heavy amounts of precipitation here. But it's across southern parts of Canada here where we'll pick up 60 to 90 millimeters, upwards of 100 to 150 millimeters in some of these areas, especially in the far west towards British Columbia. I got plenty more weather for you in just a moment. But take a look at my affiliate. Do you want some awesome maps? Check this out. I am proud to announce that I am now an affiliate with Trilogy Maps. TrilogyMaps.com, bringing you the most digital, customizable maps found nowhere else on the internet. These maps are simply stunning. It's an advanced layering system that makes these maps great for making forecast maps with ease or any other maps that you would like to display important information on. The resolution on these maps is simply amazing. From the detail of everything here in the States, and you can also create stunning, digital, professional layered maps from also across the entire world. And don't forget, in checkout, the discount code option, use my code, MeteoMark, hit apply, and you will get 20% off your order. So if you want the most professional, customizable, and affordable weather maps found nowhere else on the internet, look no further than TrilogyMaps.com. Link in the description down below along with your discount code. Temperature-wise for this week, look at this. This is summer-like, 80s all the way up to Ohio and Pennsylvania, parts of southern New York. Texas and Florida, we just continue to build the heat here. As we go throughout the week, we're going to see a common theme here. This is what's going to feed the severe weather because you got all this cold air bottled up here. And then you got all this hot, humid air. Look at this, 90s across Texas and even parts of Florida all up to North Carolina here. So looking really nice for Florida all the way up to the mid-Atlantic. This is where high pressure is mostly in control. And look at this, yeah, mid to upper 80s through most areas of Florida, 70s throughout the Ohio Valley and Eastern Lakes. As we continue through Thursday here, this is May 2nd, look at how the heat is just building here, even into parts of the Florida Peninsula up towards the mid to upper 80s. Miami, you're getting a little bit of the northeast wind there, so 82, not too bad. And look at here into the northeast, 70s. And then we continue through Friday. Look at this. The common theme is just building that heat and humidity throughout the east here around that Bermuda high. As we get into Saturday, May 4th here, look at this. Yeah, we're solidifying the 80s and even some 90-degree readings here throughout much of central and even northern Florida here. 70s all the way up through the lakes and to the northeast. Extended outlook from my hometown viewers, Binghamton, Scranton, Upper Susquehanna River Valley, New York, and Pennsylvania. Look at this. Yeah, Monday we get some scattered showers, but it'll be mostly sunny for most of the day. 83 degrees into Tuesday, 84, the mid-80s. We could have a few showers and thunderstorms. I'm not expecting anything severe. 3/4 of an inch of rain into Tuesday night. Wednesday, a chance of showers, mid-70s. Thursday, sunny skies, 80 degrees. And look at that for Friday. Chance of showers again, up near 80 degrees. As always, thank you for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. Also, don't forget to join me on Facebook at MeteoMark, also Weather Northeastern, also Twitter at Weather Eastern. Don't forget it's MeteoMark.com, and don't forget, if you want to send me a coffee, there is a link, Super Thanks. You can smash that Super Thanks button or my PayPal link in the description down below. You can buy me a cup of coffee. Thanks, everyone. Share that video. Subscribe if you haven't. Smash that like button.